David Phelps was born on October 21st, 1969 in Texas, into a own family that deeply valued faith. Tune and training his youth changed into full of the sounds of gospel hymns, church choirs, and family sing-along, all of which played a crucial function in shaping his destiny as one of the maximum effective voices in Christian music. Developing up in Timbaugh, a small city in Texas, David became surrounded by way of a loving and supportive family who encouraged his passion for tune from an early age. His father, Gene Phelps, became a businessman with a sturdy paintings ethic, 036, even as his mom, Mary Ella Phelps, changed into an English trainer who instilled in him a love for mastering the church. Phelps' own family became deeply concerned in their local church, and Sunday services had been greater than only a recurring. They have been an essential part of their lives. Music become always at the heart of their worship. And younger David discovered himself interested in the beauty of harmonies and the energy of gospel songs. From an early age, David displayed an exquisite vocal talent. His family fast found out that he had a present, and they recommended him to use it. He sang in church, at faculty occasions, and in local competitions in which his powerful voice always stood out. At the same time, as a baby, he had an uncanny potential to bring deep emotion through thing that would later emerge as considered one of his logos as an artist, no matter his natural talent. David's childhood became now not without challenges, developing up in a small metropolis. Possibilities to pursue professional tune training had been constrained. However, his mother and father made every effort to make certain that he obtained the schooling and steerage he needed. They enrolled him in Song the 40. Lessons uncovered him to a range and to quite a few musical styles and supported his goals wholeheartedly at some point of his high faculty years. David's ardor for song persisted to grow. He participated in choir, honed his vocal talents, and became recognized for his tremendous variety and capability to hit soaring high notes without problems. His determination to tune turned into mashed by way of his instructional achievements, and he excelled in his research. His mom's have an effect on as an educator played a good-sized position in shaping his intellectual interest and field. After graduating from high school, David made the lifestyles-changing decision to attend Baylor University in Waco, Texas, wherein he pursued a diploma in track and vocal overall performance. It turned into at Baylor that he truly commenced to refine his craft, analyzing classical track opera and vocal strategies that could later set him apart within the world of gospel tune. The rigorous schooling he acquired helped him expand no longer most effective technical precision, however. Additionally, a deep information of the emotional and spiritual electricity of song. While a university scholar, David's faith remained at the center of his life. He persisted to sing in church, lead worship, and use his voice to encourage others. His time at Baylor prepared him for the incredible journey that lay ahead, an adventure that could sooner or later lead him to sign up for the Gaither Vocal Band and emerge as one of the maximum-liked voices in Christian song searching again. David's youth changed into a lovely blend of faith, circle of relatives, and music. The foundation laid via his dad and mom, the encouragement of his church community, and his relentless passion for singing all helped shape him into the artist he could turn out to be. His early years have been packed with goals, difficult paintings, and an unwavering perception that music was more than just expertise. It turned into his calling. David Phelps had spent many years as a center member of the Gaither Vocal Band, his hovering tenor voice bringing audiences to tears and lifting their spirits in worship. His time with the group were full of incredible moments, international excursions, packed arenas, and the overwhelming joy of making a song gospel track that touched the hearts of millions. The Gaither Vocal Band had ended up like a second circle of relatives to him, a brotherhood of voices that blended into perfect harmony. However, each journey has its seasons, and for David, the time in the end got here whilst he had to make the tough choice to step far away from the group. Leaving the Gaither Vocal Band became no longer an easy choice. He had spent years visiting with Bill Gaither and the alternative contributors, sharing memories, laughter, and a deep connection through song. The thought of pronouncing goodbye to that existence stuffed him with uncertainty and unhappiness. It wasn't pretty much leaving a job. It was approximately leaving in the back of a manner of life that had defined him for goodbye, the long hours on the road, the prayers earlier than every performance, the quiet moments backstage together with his fellow singers. These have been the matters he might miss the most. His decision changed into now, not made lightly. David had constantly regarded that his heart was pulling him in the direction of something new. He wanted to spend greater time with his circle of relatives, to explore his personal musical tasks, and to observe where God turned him to main him next. However, regardless of that clarity, he could not shake the deep sorrow that came with stepping far from something that had intended so much to him. The day of his final performance with the Gaither Vocal Band was one of the maximum emotional days of his lifestyles. As he stood on degree for the last time with his brothers in harmony, he felt the load of the years they had spent together. The crowd, unaware that this would be one of his final appearances, sang alongside to the acquainted hymns, their voices mixing with his. Every picker, observe, felt heavier, every lyric more significant. He looked over at Bill Gaither, the man who had given him this brilliant opportunity such a lot of years ago, and noticed the knowledge in his eyes. They each knew that this became not simply the give-up of a chapter, but a second of transition, a bittersweet farewell as the very last music ended. David felt a lump upward thrust in his throat. The applause turned into deafening, but it wasn't just the sound of celebration, it was the sound of love, of gratitude, of shared recollections between him, his fellow singers, and the audience that had supported him through the years. He took a deep breath, trying to keep returned tears, and whispered a prayer of thanks while the concert changed into over. He observed himself lingering backstage no longer, looking to go away simply, but the goodbyes have been difficult. Mark Laurie, along with his signature humor, attempted to lighten the temper, but even he could not cover the unhappiness in his eyes. Guy Penrod clapped him on the return, his voice thick with emotion. Gaither pulled him into a protracted hug, talking quiet words of encouragement. Returning domestic, become any other task. The road were his lifestyles for so long that adjusting to a quieter life felt strange. He could wake up waiting for Depot, his baggage prepare for some other concert, or step onto a bus filled with laughter. Music, rather. He found himself inside the stillness of his home, surrounded with the aid of own family. However, feeling the absence of something familiar, yet, even in his sorrow, there has been peace. He knew that God changed into Mainham, into a brand new season. His family welcomed him with open arms, grateful to have him home more often. He threw himself into his solo career, recording tunes that have been on his coronary heart for years. Though he neglected the camaraderie of the Gaither Vocal Band, he determined pleasure in developing something new in the usage of his voice in a different way over time. The pain of leaving started out to fade, replaced by means of the conclusion that his adventure became no longer over. It was clearly changing. He could usually be a part of the Gaither family, and the song they'd created collectively could live on in the hearts of folks that have been touched via it. And so, with faith and gratitude, David advanced into the following chapter of his life, sporting with him the training, friendships, and recollections that might all the time be a part of his soul. Thanks a lot for looking. I certainly recognize your help. In case you enjoyed this video, be sure to go away, like, and comment underneath. I'd love to hear what you watched. See you inside the subsequent video.